We've heard from many residents who want to know what you, if you became MP, would bring to lasting regeneration to Redditch. How would you set about lasting regeneration to Redditch? And if we could start off with you, Rachel, how would you bring lasting regeneration to Redditch?
Well, thank you very much, Ross, and can I thank all of you for coming tonight and also for the organisers. I think these hustings are really important and it's great to be here with all the candidates. So in terms of regeneration, ever since I've been Member of Parliament here, since 2017, people said that they wanted to see a thriving town centre. They wanted to see an enticing offer. They wanted to see a place where they could take their families, where they could have an afternoon out or a night out. They wanted to see fun and also opportunity in the town centre and the surrounding area. So when I'm talking about regeneration for Redditch, obviously we're focusing on the town centre at the moment where we sit, but the constituency as a whole is also bigger because the town centre, so we must also think about the surrounding areas and the rural areas that depend, in a sense, on the local economy of Redditch. So I think the most significant thing that I've been able to do for this town since I've been the MP is secure a town deal, which is part of the levelling up agenda introduced by the Conservative government, which is £16.6 million that's ready to be spent in this town. Now clearly the plans have to be developed and all the partners and stakeholders need to come together and agree what that looks like. But I think in terms of the future, the potential for that money to make a huge difference to the people of Redditch, that is a tangible thing. On top of that, we've also realised, and I think there's a massive realisation about the importance for arts and culture. So it's about the town centre and the regeneration and the local area and the shops, but it's also about some of those intangible things to do with culture and some of the local groups, for example the Palace Theatre, and some of the other arts groups that are so active in Redditch, many of whom I've met and worked with. So I've managed to secure also £5 million that can be spent in consultation and partnership with local people, so that we can bring to life some of the ideas and the creativity and the talent of the young people across Redditch, and that's something that I think is really exciting. And then finally, I was able to announce just last week that if the Conservatives are returning to power at the general election in 2 weeks' time, it's come very quickly, we will be pledging a further £20 million for Redditch, and again that's part of a town deal where we will have a governance structure, local people will be in charge of how this money is spent, because it is really important that these are huge sums and they are spent for a lasting benefit for this town when probably all of us are no longer involved in decades in the future. Our children, our grandchildren see something here that they can be proud of.
Okay, thank you very much, Rachel. Moving on, Amin, would you like to explain what you would do to bring lasting regeneration to Redditch?
Most certainly. First of all, thank you to yourself, and hello to everybody, and thank you for attending. I agree with a lot of what Rachel has kindly said here. The businesses and the high street need to really have a big push in regeneration. However, I'm quite pessimistic about what I've heard, because with no undue disrespect, the chance has been there for roughly 7 years. So if the knowledge is there and the want is there to make Redditch have a long-lasting and lasting regeneration for businesses and for the youth and for all of the community, then
Could I just stop you there? Can I ask, what would you do
yes,
to bring lasting regeneration?
I have 2.5 minutes, yes. Yeah. So I'd like to ask why you have to do it first of all, but going to what I will do is we are going to improve the incentivisation for businesses within the town centre. They need to be incentivised and they need to be helped to ensure that they stay open, to ensure that they thrive for all of us. I'm looking to work with the college in particular, to or 12 million from the central government because I'm just not in a position. However, I will work towards securing something which can actually be effectively used rather than be secured.
Okay, can I stop you there? Thank you. Julie, how would you bring lasting regeneration to Redditch?
Hi everybody. So I'm not a career politician. I'm a chemical engineer. I've travelled the world. I've lived in Switzerland, France. I've had several small businesses. I've managed $750 million in my position in Switzerland. I've been around. And, you know, when I was appointed Redditch parliamentary candidate, I spent several months talking to people in Redditch, going around the streets, looking at some of the areas that need massive development. I mean, I used to live in a place like Churchill when I was born in St Helens, working class background. And you know what I do? I mean, first of all, and I know that there's some good things happened, but I don't think it's enough. Redditch needs to, I mean, you've got so much potential. There's 3,050 small businesses out there. 85% of them are micro. We need to help them to grow faster. We do that by raising VAT thresholds to 150%. We start the basic rate tax threshold at 20,000. People in Redditch, there's about 8% that have very low skills or no skills. You know, these small businesses are prime for apprenticeships. You know, we need to skill up your labour force so that for the longer term, they stay in Redditch, they earn money in Redditch, they spend it in Redditch. And then when I'm walking around Churchill, I'm walking around Williams, you know, 23,000 houses are private, 6,000 are social houses, 6,000 are rentals, landlords that have massively exited the market because of punitive taxes by the Conservative government, you know, reforms that are being put into place but unfortunately stopped because Rishi Sunak called a general election. So if you've got more money in your pocket, every person who earns over £20,000 will have £1,500 more in their pocket. They will spend it in Redditch town centre. If we reduce fuel duty from 54p to 20p a litre, you end up with £54 more in your pocket per month. If you've got more money, you spend it in Redditch. Let's bring Redditch back with the nice market town it was, with the market in the city centre. The library was a good move, but you need people to come in, spend the money that they don't have at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on, David Thain. David, how would you bring lasting improvement to Redditch?
There's a lot. Redditch needs a lot, and as my colleagues have said, it needs a lot of investment. It needs investment for social housing. I checked yesterday, and there are up to 1,000 households waiting for houses. The Green Party would make it a priority to fund and build at least 1,000 new houses, sustainably build 1,000 new houses, because people have to have somewhere to live, and there are too many on the housing list at the moment. And to pick up what my colleagues also said, Kingfisher is a prime candidate for further investment. I think it's a little dowdy. I think it could have a lot more done to it. And Redditch deserves a better, more vibrant shopping centre, rather than just hopping on the train and going into Birmingham. We should have one of our own. I think also, I'm proud of the natural heritage that Redditch has got. I think we've got supposedly 3 million trees, and some of them are at the end of their sort of natural life cycle, so we want to see a bit more investment in some of the trees in the woods around this fabulous town. I think the Green Party set out a lot of spending plans, and they cost a lot. Make no bones about it, there's a lot of investment that Redditch needs. But it has to be done. We have to have a central government that will provide Redditch with the funds that it needs for better housing, a better town, and a more vibrant Kingfisher centre. Thank you.
Okay. would you do to enhance lasting regeneration to Redditch?
Thank you, Ross, and thank you everybody for being here today. I remember 20 odd years ago sitting in the Kingfisher Centre under the palm trees. Big hands up if you remember the palm trees in the Kingfisher Centre. I remember spending my money that I used to earn delivering the Redditch advertiser, going in there and thinking, my God, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than here right now. There was so much to do. It was buzzing, our town centre, and since then we've been forgotten, not just by national government, but also we've made some poor decisions locally and making sure that our town centre sticks with the times. And so one of the things that I'm really proud that the Labour government will do if elected in 2 weeks' time is tackle the actual problem that we have in our town centre right now. It's too expensive to start a business. It's too expensive to have a shop in Kingfisher Centre or in the local area. We've lost huge giants, some of the biggest pools of footfall to our town centre because of sky-high business rates. And the Labour Party has pledged to axe the current business rates programme and replace it with a new system that offers flexibility to local traders and local councils so that we can actually attract businesses back into our town centre again. If you knock a door and ask people why they don't want to come to Redditch Town Centre, they give you a couple of reasons. They say the shops that I want just aren't there. And secondly, some people will say they don't feel safe in the town centre right now. So that's why Labour's second policy of 13,000 more community support officers and officers on our streets will make a difference locally, to give people the confidence, some of our pensioners, to go back into our town centre and do their shopping again. But also,
excuse me, how would you pay for all this?
Well, my colleague to my right spent an awful lot of money in her initial statement, but we've only spent £5 billion in terms of fully costed spending down the manifesto. We've pledged that every penny that we will spend is being brought back by our changes to the non-dom status, and that's what a responsible potential government does. I've got the document right in front of me. Yes, it may not spend as much money as the colleagues to my right and my left, but it's practical and it's the first steps about how we regenerate our town centre and get our country back on track. But just adding to the point about the town centre, we were 99th lowest out of 101 in terms of the money that was given to us by government. We've missed out on over £54 million worth of investment from national government just over the last 5 years, from levelling up, from the High Street Support Fund, and the Towns Fund. We didn't get all the money that we asked for.
Okay.
So if we're serious about regenerating our town, Ross, we've got to do practical things to get
We're
people back
serious
into
about
town.
getting through the questions here as well. But thank you, Chris. And finally, Andrew, how would you bring lasting regeneration?
Good evening, everyone. It's great to be here. So I moved to Redditch back in 2014. I didn't know much about the town then, but have learned to love the people, the way the town's built, the surrounding area, and I think this town needs just a push. So we have a massive opportunity in the next few years. We have to put a load of investment into working towards net zero, and there are a ton of green technologies and manufacturing that needs to be done. Now, Redditch has a higher than average manufacturing base here in the rest of the country anyway. So the way I think we need to regenerate our town is to put our people in the position to earn more money so they can spend more money. That's going to bring in the investment from outside for stores, for places to be. So you invest in manufacturing of green technology. We get rid of the apprentice levy to encourage businesses to take on local staff, train them up, keep the skills here instead of them moving away. Get rid of the apprentice minimum wage, so that more young people would want to come in and actually be apprentices rather than have to live on a pittance while they're training. But you can't just focus on the town. We need to put that expertise into the rural areas as well. So you need to invest in sustainable, profitable farming that's going to be green for the future, it's going to be sustainable, keep our soil in good condition, and that will bring in the money. It will give people more money in their pockets to spend, and that's what's going to attract these stores that have left over years and years back into the town and revitalise the whole place.
Okay, thank you very much.